the best setup right now. Just going to do it just before I head off to bed here. So anyway, what I see here is I tried to do this as just a little bit of overlap in December with some of January, sorry, some of January coming in. So what I'm seeing here is I did pull some cards here that were indicating what was going to be happening that you were currently focusing on. So what it looks to be is that you're really in a bit of a transition. It's almost like an up and down sort of feeling of happiness, joy, and then back into sort of a brooding kind of energy. There's definitely a lot of things that you seem to be releasing or that you seem to be focusing on. So there's certainly changes going on here regardless. I just will give you kind of an overlay of some of what I've pulled here, even though you can't really see all of them here. But the cards that you're focusing, what you're choosing to focus on for the month of December anyway, would be release. You have some challenging times within that period, this period for this current month. Um, and it would, I would say, be in around the heart center, but there's also kind of a renewed vitality as well as you go through this change. But there is other things that you're going to be having to focus on, really get clear on, and with your belief systems and those kinds of things. That's really where you're at, and that's where you're supposed to be focusing. And then, just as far as the tarot itself goes, there is cards that I pulled a little further over here, and I guess just for the sake of space, I just kind of left it as it was. I'll pull them forward as we go, but right now what I'm looking at is the Ace of Swords with the Two of Cups. And then of course there's a little bit more of a clarifier around that, but I'll pull that forward here in a minute. And then what's also out of view here is the Moon card with the Four of Swords. Again, I'll go through that here in just a second. Just wanted to pull forward the things that you can't quite see that are off to the side. And then, of course, the ones that you see here in the front. And then we also have a victory. So a victory in around the Empress, which again, pull that forward later here. And then I'll give you the rundown of what I see. And then we also have the Eight of Wands, and that's with the Queen of Cups. Pulled a few more clarifiers there as well. And then the final cards out, which are far end here, is the Lover's card with the Ace of Wands. So I did this as more of a general spread, not specific to money and those kinds of things. And again, I'm not seeing that as a primary focus for the period of December to January, but there is definitely some wins here. It's like you're going through a bit of a transition, and of course it's taking some time to kind of process through that. So that's where I'm at. There was also a couple of cards that did fall out, which I didn't take, but they were along the lines, of course, of the Ten of Swords. So it really feels like there is something that is trying to finish up, but you're still going through that process. So the Ten of Swords, of course, was the card that came out, and that is a card of definitely something where you feel like you've been a little victimized. Maybe there was something that felt a little catastrophic or draining on you. A little bit of a mountain to overcome. But while climbing that mountain, would have been some harsh words or some difficulty in dealing with people around you. So again, it's dealing with other attitudes or actions or strong words, anything along that line. So again, that was the card that fell out. So it looks as though that is what's kind of in the background finishing up here for you. It's kind of a survival mentality, though, is what I would say there with that Ten of Swords. You've gone through some very difficult times, and now you're in the process of starting anew in regards to a relationship. Again, albeit it seems like there's a little bit of distance here in the period of December to January, but it is warming up. So we'll kind of, as I say, go through some of that here. Maybe what I'll do is I'll read those other cards last and we'll just start in. Okay, so starting out with, again, the Ace of Swords, as well as the Two of Cups. These would be cards that, speak to starting a conversation up with somebody. There's some direct communication. It's not communication necessarily that's very warm, but it certainly does open the door to trying to resolve something. That's what I would say, is it's more of a let's discuss something, of maybe a little heavier nature. And the reason why I say that is because it's also followed up by the card of the moon, as well as the Four of Swords. So, in that kind of area, like I said, it's like there's a conversation that's taking place that could be quite a heavier conversation, working through some very deep issues, trying to break away from some of the negativity, or breaking away from some of the heaviness that, whatever it is that you're trying to resolve. There's something you're trying to resolve here by opening up that dialogue, but again, it's not yet telling me whether or not you're getting something that you want. You are getting something that you want further out, but right now there's something that's being discussed anyway, like I said, with another person here that's quite significant to you. It doesn't really look as though there is any, I don't want to say that there is no advancement, but it's almost like it's kind of remaining in a place of heaviness, because there's still a lot of heavy, or well, a lot of energy still around healing with the star card, even though there is some kind of advancement toward moving forward to communicate, or at least offer a sense of willingness to move in a particular direction. It still feels like there's one party isn't picking up the cue, I guess, maybe is what I want to say there. There is something here around, again, sort of a distant sort of communication. It's not necessarily one that's quite receptive with the moon card. There's still some things around it that appear to be a little bit foreboding, or things that you don't really want to discuss. It's coming at something from very deep, you know, areas, deep cycles, dealing with things that are really under the wire. The moon card is a major arcana, and so that is the big player that's out here. So it's like that energy of someone might be projecting their fears or projecting onto you in this discussion. There's something about trying to work through somebody's projections, somebody's pushing something onto you. There's also, again, some truths that might be coming out here, that something might be coming to light. Maybe there is an element or a snippet of fear, or something that is that's becoming clear, but it's almost like there's a time of requiring that you need that time to process through it, is what I would say. The Four of Swords is really stepping back as well to kind of figure it out, now that there is something that's come forward here. What is it that I need to, how can I process this? How can I internalize this? How can I make this something that I have a better understanding of? Because, like I say, it's almost like it's so heavy that you can't quite process that in a quick way. The four, of course, the Four of Swords, even though it is more the clarifier and it is further out energy, it's not the immediate energy. It's still telling me that it is kind of dealing around your stability. It's in around your foundation. So to me, this is something that is you're trying to find a way to create some stability here with that energy as well, because the moon is still dealing with something at a very deep level after, and it feels like, again, there's a certain element of projection that's coming through with that. The Four of Swords, and again, there's a lot of swords energy here. So Four of Swords is also in around really trying to intellectually deal with something. You're really in the mind a lot here. You're really trying to almost isolate a little bit here to figure out, yeah, I guess, what it is that you're trying to break down, but there's a period of withdrawal, and a deep, almost escapism kind of feeling. So, in the month of December, and again, moving through into January, I feel like this is also rest and recuperation, but for sure, it's also that period of inactivity where you're trying to really get a handle on some of the deeper parts of yourself, deeper conversations, deeper things that you have not yet dealt with, and you're detaching from some of the elements to be able to deal with that. I would also say that uh, there is something here. Like I said, when we get to the cards of, maybe I'll just jump right into here. Um, just want to reflect back here for a second. Because like I say, the Ace of Swords is a conversation that's starting or that's opening up. And it's not really a favorable conversation that you want to have, I would say. But it is something that's being communicated in a little bit of a sharp way. I'm not seeing really battles. It's almost like it's um, a deep, unsettling kind of feeling or conversation, like I said, that you don't really want to have. Um, but anyway, we'll just kind of tally on here. Okay, so when we get to the cards of, oh, and actually, sorry, the clarifiers around that, the first cards there. So not the moon, but the cards around the Ace of Swords as well as the um, two, or the Lover's card, no, Two of Cups, sorry. The cards that I also pulled, just to sort of clarify that a little bit more, was the Four of Wands. So it is around your stability. It's in around your family life or something that you consider to be stable. That's where that uncomfortable conversation is arising. There is a sense that, again, of course, you need to shift your perspective and really try to look at it, come at it from a different angle with the Hanged Man. Um, and once you do that, it's like it's going to allow for some element of a new start. Could be in around finances, that there is at least some discussion, because the page, or even a child, somebody who's younger, that's also coming through here. But either way, that Page of Pentacles still tells me that there is some positive momentum in a particular direction, albeit more of a small token. The page is still that energy of um, not really taking things in a bold step, but it is a step nonetheless. So again, it's still information that's coming through here, that there is some kind of potential, there's some kind of a growth, some kind of advancement here, something you're exploring here as far as, a conversation where it's still good news, but it's almost like it is coming at a bit of a sacrifice, whatever this is. So it's not working out exactly as you'd planned. There is something that you're having to give up, or something, in favor of growth. So, like I said, I feel like this is still a positive step, the communication, but it's almost like there is something that you're having to reconsider, enable for something to advance forward. It is still a very responsible energy, though, and again, it's still in around exploring some of the financial aspects of a new direction. So, something in around finances, or something in around intellectual pursuits here seem to be pretty strong in terms of a connection as well. So, if this is a partnership for some of you that's in around a business, I feel like the conversation again being had is one around money, but not a very, it's a very slow, cautious sort of conversation, is what I would say. It's not jumping in with bold ideas and strong belief systems, anything like that. It's just one of a very careful, responsible, practical kind of nature. But again, because the Hanged Man is the clarifier further out, it's, even though you may not have resolved this, at least it is at play. Some of the conversation, like I said, is um, moving in around the direction of trying to resolve it, because there is a negotiation. Even with the Two of Pentacles, there's a sense of, how can I be flexible? How can I, kind of uh, and it's kind of an in and out conversation as well. It's almost like, having the conversation and then pulling back, disappearing for a while, having it, arise at again at a later time, something along that line. There's a bit of a pattern of instability or not, directly dealing with the issue. It's almost like back and forth, back and forth. I feel like as well with that, and again, it's in around the home front or something that you consider to be your stability, but there is something that's almost, with the hanged man, it's almost like there's a stuck energy, or at least there's something that's being hung onto, in regards to, I would say, in regards to maybe a belief system, maybe even a belief system around money, something like that. But either way, there's something that's not quite moving ahead yet, although further out. Again, I suspect for some of you, because this is a December, January read, more predominantly January, it'll probably trickle through a little further into February, because these are clarifiers. So that energy is not the main one out. The main one out was the Ace of Swords and the conversation taking place in a main, coupleship or a significant partnership. So either way, further out with the clarifiers, that's going to be something that erupts, and it's going to be, and I don't mean erupt as in, big conversation. It's going to be more of a incremental shift, because the energy seems to be one of suspension, a little bit of momentum, and then it goes back into suspension, and then moving forward again. So it's not setbacks, but it's almost like slow moving energy around unsticking yourself, or trying to get a handle on what the point of view of another is, because there's a projection here as well in conversation. So um, I don't really see destruction or anything like that, but it just feels like it's just a little bit of uh, I don't want to say nasty energy or anything like that, but it's conversation that's got a little bit of a pause, um, where you need to let go of a particular issue or situation and able to sort of advance it here as well. Um, there is, like I said, you adjusting your point of view, but again, these are further out cards, not where it's quite moved into that energy. When we get to the Two of Pentacles, these are all mostly minor arcana. The only one that was a major arcana was the Moon card. So a lot of this is deeper processing for you in that area. So there's a lot that you're still kind of working through at the subconscious level in this period. And I believe the Lover's card as well at the end was also another major arcana there. But even when we're dealing with those cards, like I said, the coupleship or the partnership seems to be pretty significant either way. The Two of Pentacles is a card again of trying to really weigh out the situation, trying to figure out what's the best situation or best solution for whatever it is that you're dealing with. However, it is also a card of overwhelm, feeling like you're pushed under pressure. Things are a little bit indecisive. Um, there's a compromise of some sort that's required. I would get that from a couple of cards here, so I feel like that is sort of where your energy is divided. Time and energy might also be factors entirely, because I do see that it is followed up with the Knight of Wands. So I feel like you're really trying to balance that, trying to readjust things. You're trying to go forward here, but it's almost like two steps forward, one step back, that kind of thing. There's also the potential for travel or consideration to it. I don't really see direct cards that you're moving in that direction yet, and certainly it's not the main cards out anyway. But again, there's still a level of flexibility and balancing that is quite significant in the December January sort of range here. And again, some of this might be a little further out, because the read is predominantly December, January, but your clarifiers kind of take it into a little further out energy. And I feel like when people are dealing with any kind of major issues anyway, it does tend to work its way through, in its own time. So there is something that also indicates to me that you're under a little bit of pressure. We also have the Knight of Cups here. Maybe it's better where it was. We also have the Knight of Cups here with the star energy. So there is some momentum in a few different areas here because we have two knights. Um, so it is in around the heart center or opening up that space. There's also a lot of kind of an involvement of, there is definite action taking place here, but it seems like it's a little bit back and forth because it's like I'm healing and then I take another step, and then it's that kind of energy. The star card, again, it's a major arcana, but it's not the main one that's out here, but it certainly speaks to there being some level of trying to be optimistic in the face of a situation. There is something here that kind of speaks to trying to be a little more open to uh, renewing yourself or healing yourself here as well, um, especially because it's next to the Empress. There is something here about everything kind of works the way it should. You know, you can have a little bit more confidence here in this period. I feel that you're developing more confidence in this period because you do have a bit of a win here coming in as well in the month of January. So I do feel like that's providing more of a positive outlook. It's some kind of a promise that's being fulfilled here to you. There's some new doorways opening, like I said, because you're getting clear on some belief systems, you're getting clear on a conversation. So that's all helping you to refocus or shift your perspective, shift your focus, so that you can see what's your next step and what's on the horizon. But it's kind of renewing something in around your belief systems as well, especially because you're dealing with so much of the subconscious at the subconscious level, and certainly with that sun or the star card. I mean, this is definitely dealing with your feelings, I would say, and you're healing those feelings. When we get to the card of, like I said, the Six of Wands, it definitely is a card of a victory, and it is around a the Empress. So if I pulled a few other cards here just to kind of give a little more detail, but that's in around, could be an Aries person here as well. I remember seeing it wasn't. I mean, it's a Libra energy with the Empress, but the Empress is not the main card out. The main card out, of course, is the Winds, the Six of Wands. It's a little bit of a victory here for you. You're feeling a lot more confident because some kind of decision or something that you've had a discussion with has kind of moved in your favor. So there is something even around a mother figure where this could be relevant. But either way, the Six of Wands does speak to you feeling a lot more confidence in this period anyway, because of something that's helped to rebalance things. There was some kind of, like I said, discussion where things may not have, there's been a little bit of a compromise or a little bit of a sacrifice, but either way, whatever that challenge was, you've found a way to rebalance it in some way with the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is also that card telling me that it's in around, like I said, a mother figure could be, or a Libra is prevalent here with the Empress. But either way, I feel like you're also prioritizing yourself and feeling more confident in that energy, with you being the Empress. So the Six of Wands, like I said, with that star, could also indicate that there is some kind of passionate new beginning or passionate reinvigorized, how do I say it, re-energized sort of connection of some sort as well. But either way, like I said, I just feel like you're advancing some way, feeling a lot more abundant, feeling a lot more secure, feeling a lot more. I don't see money specifically here, but it does feel like it's something that's moved in your favor that gives you a feeling like you've got a little leverage, or you've got something that's, moved in more of a positive frame of mind for you. Something of value. Something has helped you to rise in value here. So it's along that line. But again, whatever that is for you, I mean, it can represent some kind of a career move that has put you into a better position. because it is a card of triumph, and it's realizing that, you have manifested something, whether it's further out in terms of finance or if it's just, a rise in your position. Either way, there's something here along the lines of getting what you want, but it's also feeling like you're putting yourself forward here, putting yourself in the forefront, putting yourself in a place of um, really looking after yourself, that kind of thing. The card around the Empress was also something from the past. So this could be dealing with someone from the past that you seem to have made some headway with, whether this is you advancing with them or helping to advance that person in some way and shifting the scenario so that it's actually moving in a positive direction. Either way, that's helping you in some regard. But the Six of Cups is certainly, dealing with something from the past. So whether this is also you, I don't want to say it's reminiscing so much, but it could be a little bit of that here too. But either way, it is getting some kind of wish or family um, event that's moving in a positive direction for you. There's also something here about, so it's in regards to childhood. It could be dealing with your childhood. Um, so when we get to this one here, again, it's just a clarifier that's kind of advancing the Empress as well. The Page of Swords is kind of new information around something that you've had to battle. The 10 means it's come to a conclusion. So there's been some kind of a significant advancement here with the Page of Swords. It's communication that's coming through saying, okay, it's done and dealt with. You've got your little triumph here and moving on. Could be a big triumph, but either way, you're moving on from the situation because you've actually advanced yourself. Last cards out are and I'll recap it here as well. Last cards out, of course, is the Eight of Wands. So something very swiftly is coming in around the Queen of Cups energy. So there's some kind of communication, I would say, could very well be with a water sign. But either way, the Queen of Cups, and as well with the Empress there as well, it kind of speaks to something indicating that there's some good luck, like I said. That's positive. Mother figure could also be relevant here, but it's something that is giving you a sense that there's progress. And not only is it progress, but it's also that energy of feeling supported. Um, the other part of that would be, because there were clarifiers, I guess what I'm trying to sort of figure out is maybe there was a sense of feeling very lonely here with the Nine of Pentacles, or feeling like you were doing things alone, too much of a battle that was going on, a lot of competition around you, and it's like you're just kind of stepping back from that and taking on a different attitude of only advancing yourself in ways where you actually have more of a connection to a situation. So yeah, like I said, I mean, these are just the clarifiers. And then, of course, the main cards out were just well, with the Lover's card. I'll get back to those here in a second. Let's just kind of bring these back down here again. I'll kind of recap it and just flesh it out a little bit more here. I just wanted to kind of give you a general idea of what was happening there first. Okay. Okay, sorry guys, just taking a couple of extra seconds to organize it here. All right, so again, we're just going to get right into recap here. So when we're dealing with that ace again, the Ace of Swords is kind of being direct in your communications, as I mentioned. Definitely speaks to having more of a conversation that you're not really wanting to have. I still think that overall the conversation is being divided up around a few different intervals. It's not something that's happening in one sitting. It does feel like this is almost, needing the time to process, as I mentioned, process through this situation. So, either way, there's also something here about searching for truth or trying to figure something out here, trying to find a resolve because you don't understand something. So, you're communicating, you're asking the questions here. Um, and I do feel like you're trying another approach because the Hanged Man did come out here as well. You're trying another approach to deal with it. But either way, it's just something about your mindset is being adjusted here. You might, and maybe the mindset doesn't change right away in the period of December to January, but it's like you are being asked to change the mindset in some way, or and able to ensure that there is something that becomes more clear to you. Otherwise, it's a little more difficult to focus on the facts and what it is that you need to get done. So you're trying to get to the core of the situation here, but it feels like you're dealing with projecting energies because of that moon and the Four of Swords. You're dealing with projection from yourself or someone else onto you. But either way, it's almost like you see through it with the Ace of Swords, because that's kind of that moment of piecing everything together, especially when we're down here with the Four of Swords. We're piecing it all together. We're really trying to figure out, reflect on it, and there is a little bit more of a breakthrough energy. I'm not seeing big breakthrough energy, but it's breakthrough energy in that you are able to see a little bit clearer how to go forward or how to deal with the situation. So again, the main cards out here that really impact December to January is the Moon card. So really dealing with some underlying feelings and emotions, as well as the Lover's card. So it definitely feels like it's in around connection of sorts. So you're really trying to process how to deal with something. The hangman and all of that was something that was a little bit further out. So again, you're either, in that space where you're in a period of struggle to kind of accept something and surrender to it. And you're having to shift your perspective or, as they say, sacrifice something so that you can, resolve it, create a solution here for yourself. But either way, it's also taking the time to sort of accept something as well. But either way, there's a little bit of back and forth energy in terms of how you're dealing with something. Um, and it's in more than one card, and it definitely affects your home front or the things that you consider your stability. The Two of Pentacles, like I said, that is still a card of really trying to struggle through, your time, your energy, and how you're advancing yourself. So it's almost like you need a little bit more to organize yourself, and you're not quite in that space here where you feel like you're in control of things, even though you're making some advancement with the winds, because you did get the Six of Wands in there. But like I said, Two of Pentacles is still very practical energy, and it does seem like you're advancing yourself in some way on the home front or in around your finances. So, regardless of the juggling action that you're doing, you're still making some progress here. So, it's just taking a little bit of some of the resources to kind of balance it out here. And it's almost as well, like I said, because the Empress came out there, you're nourishing yourself more, you're putting yourself more to the forefront and able to create more balance and harmony within yourself. You're giving more to yourself. There's more of an exchange. But as I said, there's still energy that isn't quite fully balanced yet. You're sort of juggling things still in the month of December to January. But I feel like it's your mindset that is causing the slowdown. Even though there's been a little bit of a breakthrough of sorts, there's still something here that tells me you're kind of slowly processing it. It's like, again, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. The other thing, too, I just want to say with that Knight of Wands and that Two of Pentacles, that is a time of, I mean, if we're talking about this in terms of your goals or your aspirations, this is about coping with those challenges and dealing with it by, you know, putting out a lot of energy in a particular area and then pulling it all back. You know, there's a certain level of flexibility that I see, as I said, that's being required of you. But at the same token, it's a new adventure, or there's a certain level of excitement with this new, or like with the direction that you're taking. There's excitement with it, with that Knight of Wands energy, but it's still a lot of energy around trying to be flexible. Make time for you, make time for this goal, make time for this dream, whatever that is to you. Um, and then, of course, when we get to the Knight of Cups, maybe I'll bring that one forward. Knight of Cups with the star energy. Oh, and actually, I should have, maybe I'll go back to that Two of Pentacles. I didn't read the clarifiers on that one. Sorry, guys, I am doing it when I'm a little late at night. So the Moon and the Four of Swords there as well. As I said, that was what was underneath just before these cards here and the Two of Pentacles. That was still the energy around, you kind of in a period of recovering, still healing, still focusing on your inner world, that kind of thing. Still struggling with some of those hidden emotions, trying to find your inner peace, trying to find an understanding within yourself so that you can maybe broach those conversations or have those conversations. Still kind of a bit of overworking yourself and need of relaxation. That's why the combination with the Moon and the Four of Swords, of course. But you are getting some really deeper insights into your emotional state of things. So I feel like that intuition is helping you to get the guidance that you need so that you can keep moving forward. The other part of it was, like I said, when we get to the Knight of Wands and the Two of Pentacles, that energy, and of course, there was a few clarifiers which I didn't pull through, but I will read that now. That energy sort of spoke to still the balancing act, still adapting to a situation, still trying to find the balance, and just decide what are the priorities, what are the things that will advance you forward versus just keeping busy. But it's you trying to focus on more of a specific goal, and I do feel like that is coming through with that um, initial card of the Ace of Swords. But either way, because it's involving some kind of a partnership that's overshadowing or over somehow relaying, weighing heavy on this read for December to January. So the balance is in around that dynamic balance is in around those elements. Um, but again, adapt to the situation and be flexible is in more than one card here. The other part of it was, again, when we get to the Star card and the Knight of Cups, that's really where you're letting go of some of those negative thoughts, like I said, or those experiences, that kind of thing. And there is some level of emotional growth here that's starting to open you up. Um, and I feel like that would be guiding you towards your higher purpose. It helps you to kind of tap into your heart space more than your mind. Um, Even though I feel like you're getting closer to, there's more clarity on that heart space and what it is that you want for yourself, or where you want to put your time and energy into things that revolve around the heart space. So your decisions are kind of motivated by that deeper thinking and, how it impacts your heart space. But either way, it's a path of deep spiritual enlightenment because there's a lot of cards here of introspection. It definitely speaks to you really prioritizing your balance and your peace, over some of those practical realities. Although the practical realities are still present, but I feel like you're unlocking yourself first before you balance out everything else. The card of the Empress with the Six of Wands. Oh, actually, sorry, did it again. Even with the tooth, the things that you're balancing out, that you're trying to find happiness. You're trying to incrementally advance yourself in some way because you're dealing with the Knight of Pentacles. That's slow, structured energy. So whatever it is that you're passionately trying to advance with, it's going to be something that is slow and steady. It's kind of the longer range goal, is what I would say there as well. With the Ten of Pentacles, is something that's going to be a legacy. It's something that you'll leave behind that will impact for years to come. The thing that, like I said, with the Six of Wands and the Empress card, that is still in around getting some kind of recognition here as well for an achievement. Whether you get the actual recognition, you may be just acknowledged without having someone say it to you. But either way, it's still, being recognized for something that you've achieved. So there's something in around a mother figure. Maybe there's some element of, could be you, but I would say there's some element here of um, maybe fighting on someone's behalf here, because we also have the Page of Swords, and it is someone from the past when we get to the Six of Cups, and there is a battle here. So it's almost like you're defending a truth. You're defending a position. You're defending a belief system. You're defending something in around this mother figure, or in around your, because it's a mature person with the Empress. Um, but you're defending something here in around that. I don't want to say abundance, even though I do see abundance, but somehow it makes you feel as though you're very connected to this thing. And there is some kind of information that is being advanced to you here with the Page of Swords that's coming in from the past or from childhood, something like that. That's something that you're dealing with, that, again, has been a battle, but it's over. The Ten of Swords indicates that you've reached the final conclusion of it. Okay. Anyway, so either way, this is about really looking after your foundation, or the things that are very close to you. And again, there's a lot of energy around something from the past that's still coming through here. And just to finalize, the Eight of Wands with the Queen of Cups. And of course, it does carry out with the Nine of Pentacles. And then we also have the Eight of Cups following that. So energy around that, like I said, is pretty much telling me that you are really opening up your heart space. Like I said, there's something there with that Queen of Wands, sorry, Queen of Cups, that is very emotionally driven, but you are definitely dealing with a lot of deep emotions either way. So either way, because of that pairing, I just feel like you have the energy to nurture your intuitive self, and I feel like you're putting it in. That's where your energy is going. um, but it's going into your emotions, it's going into you. There's a strong connection between the action and the emotion now. So whatever it is that you're doing, whatever actions you're taking, it's very emotionally driven. Oh, hi Jose, sorry, I just see a Libra sun, Sag rising. Thanks for watching. um, Sorry, I'm a little tired, so if I'm a little slow and sluggish, that would be why, guys. But anyway, there's more insights that are coming through for you, rapid insights that are coming in this period of December to January. And then the final card's out. So we are looking at the Lovers and the Ace of Wands. So again, significant combination, significant connection. It is a major arcana with the Lovers card. So again, doesn't have to be a love connection, can be just a really significant connection to you. But it definitely represents something that might have been an internal battle is now somehow becoming more of a, I don't want to say passionate new beginning, but there is a more exciting, inspiring new start, something that is allowing you to feel like it's, renewed you in some way. It's an opportunity either way for growth because of that Ace of Wands. So it's a token. It's much like the page in that, it's something that'll advance you forward, but it's almost like the lines of even an impulsive. I don't know if the impulsive is the word I'm looking for, but it's almost like an immediate kind of restart. Something like that, like an immediate jump into something. Um, like I said, the uncomfortable, maybe this is more than one scenario here. But either way, what I would still say, even in terms of career, whether this is a business connection here or otherwise, this is something that does speak to a new project or a new job, something you're more passionate about and something that you're very inspired about. Um, I don't tend to see, like, I mean, usually when I see an ace, it's an indicator that there could be a new job or something at hand. But um, I don't know. I'm just not getting that feel from this read. It almost feels like it could be a project that's in addition to something you're doing, but it doesn't feel like it's all something separate, as in one. But either way, it just feels like you're in a space right now where you're really listening to your inner wisdom. And I feel like you're really guided by your love, your purpose, and you're on track again here. But again, there is definitely more internal energy at the probably at the beginning of that, December overlap into January. But you're really getting clear on what you really want from your connections this month, is what I would say. I did pull some other cards here. They're a little more random for the other decks, so I'm just going to put these off to the side. Okay, so I also had these ones here. So we've got Kite. All right, so Kite is about considering a vacation. So however that resonates for you, like I said, all of you is going to speak a little bit differently. But either way, there's something here about, I felt more like, I don't feel like it's an actual journey taking place in the month of December, January. It's almost like it's just a contemplation of something here. I'm just going to review this one in the book. But either way, give me one sec. Well, okay, it does speak to just something that's in around mental vacation or otherwise. So just you taking some chance, some new uh, step into another area of your life just to sort of reinvigorate yourself. Again, of course, with the torch, we did cover this, though. There is more spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and an understanding of things. So you're really getting clear on things, your belief systems, and so on. June might also be very relevant, I would say, for next year. And certainly, November is also coming up as something that's very significant for next year. Those 2 months will have some very life changing or altering insights. Something of good news is also going to be coming into you here. And of course, this is just in this next short period, but there is a period of prosperity and abundance. Something is coming in for you. And with Inkpot, problems are being resolved. So again, that uncomfortable conversation maybe that was taking place initially is looking to resolve on some level some aspects of your life that you had some queries about. All right, let's just pull one card off of. This is the Sacred Destiny Oracle, Denise Lynn. What is the best advice for the month of January? Best advice for the month of January. Best advice for the month of January for Libra. What does Libra need to know for January? Sorry, I can't get the cards apart. Okay, the cards that came out is that there is a gateway that's opening up for you. I'll go through the more specific, but right now it's a gateway, which is going to allow for freedom. It's going to entitle you to a certain level of power, and there's a certain level of simplicity that is going to be taking place in your life. So things are about to change for you in the month of January. So, like I said, just going to pull them up so you can see them first, so it's a little clearer. Okay, so the cards of the gateway. And again, this is the Denise Lynn Sacred Destiny Oracle. So give me 1 second on this one. I don't have all these ones kind of memorized, and of course I'm tired today. So anyway, with the gateway, it does actually speak to places that are a little bit more mystical, or places that, you know, are unique, something where you are exploring places you've not been before. Either way, it's something that is going to take you into, it's actually speaking to more visionary places. So that we're not necessarily, it's more metaphoric. So it's like taking you into places or realms, things that you hadn't really considered before. So this is actually a space where you're getting unique ideas. This is something where you are opening up to something that you would never have considered necessarily before, and that's going to help you to move forward. The card of freedom, of course, is just that. It's actually opening you up so you're in a space where you actually feel like you have a lot more freedom to move ahead. Definitely feeling more community supports, that kind of thing. It's breaking free from things. You're feeling a lot more, feeling like you can step ahead without any kind of limitations. And of course, the card of simplicity was just that. This could, you know, be also breaking it down in your home or in your life, just starting to simplify things, starting to get rid of things, starting to keep it to the basics, starting to, you know, find better ways to deal with the activities, um, the things that are in your way currently that you're juggling. I feel like that's the things that you're going to be working through. You're going to be looking for the simple life, trying to find out places where you can declutter, or where you can actually move yourself ahead in the most efficient way. And of course, this is going to invite you into that space of power. So you feel like you have a lot more control over your life, or more control over your world. It definitely speaks to having a certain sense of protection. And it definitely is something where, you know, you feel like you're a lot more confident because there's more permanence to something. Whether this is news that you're getting confirmation of that, but there's a certain sense of permanence, and that's going to create a lot more strength and vitality for you. So it makes you feel like there's a lot more potential in the direction that you're choosing. Anyway, that's what I have for you, Libra, for the month of December and moving into January. I will do more of a financial read further out, but that's the general energies. So keep moving forward and never give up.